Donald Trump's 2019 proposal to purchase Greenland, though initially met with ridicule, reveals a deeper strategic interest in the Arctic region. This seemingly outlandish idea underscores the growing importance of Greenland for both economic and security reasons, particularly in the context of great power competition. Analyzing this interest requires delving into Greenland's history, its geographic significance, the resources it potentially holds, and the geopolitical dynamics shaping the Arctic. The main points driving Trump's interest, and that continue to make Greenland relevant, revolve around Arctic security and critical mineral resources. With the melting ice caps opening up new shipping lanes and access to previously inaccessible resources, Greenland's strategic location becomes increasingly valuable. Its position between North America and Europe makes it a key vantage point for monitoring maritime traffic and potential military activity in the Arctic. The second major driver is the abundance of critical minerals. As the world transitions to green energy technologies, the demand for rare earth elements and other minerals vital for batteries, electric vehicles, and renewable energy infrastructure is skyrocketing. Greenland possesses potentially vast reserves of these minerals, which could reduce dependence on countries like China, which currently dominates the rare earth market. Historically, Greenland has been a Danish territory since the 18th century, initially colonized by Denmark-Norway. While Greenland gained home rule in 1979 and further autonomy in 2009, including control over its natural resources, Denmark retains responsibility for its foreign policy and defense. The United States' interest in Greenland dates back to the 19th century, with Secretary of State William Seward considering its purchase after acquiring Alaska in 1867. During World War II, after Nazi Germany occupied Denmark, the U.S. took de facto control of Greenland to prevent it from falling into German hands, establishing air bases and radar stations. The Thule Air Base, now Patuxent Space Base, in northern Greenland, remains a critical component of U.S. missile defense and early warning systems. This history of strategic importance lays the foundation for understanding continued U.S. interest. The broader context is one of growing geopolitical competition in the Arctic. Russia has been aggressively expanding its military presence in the region, reopening Soviet-era bases and developing new weapons systems designed for Arctic warfare. China, while not an Arctic nation, has declared itself a near-Arctic state and is actively investing in infrastructure and resource extraction projects in the region. This increased activity raises concerns about potential challenges to freedom of navigation and the exploitation of Arctic resources without regard for environmental sustainability or the interests of indigenous communities. Greenland, as a territory with significant autonomy but still tied to Denmark, finds itself at the center of this geopolitical chessboard. Trump's interest, regardless of its initial perceived absurdity, brought these issues to the forefront. While a direct purchase of Greenland is unlikely, the episode highlighted the need for the U.S. and other Western nations to strengthen their relationships with both Greenland and Denmark. This could involve increased investment in infrastructure, support for sustainable resource development, and closer security cooperation. Furthermore, the focus on critical minerals underscores the broader strategic challenge of diversifying supply chains and reducing dependence on single-source suppliers. Greenland's potential to contribute to this diversification makes it a valuable asset, not only for the U.S. but also for the European Union and other nations seeking to secure their access to vital resources. In conclusion, while the idea of buying Greenland may have seemed like a fleeting whim, it served to spotlight the territory's undeniable strategic value. The Arctic is no longer a remote and isolated region. It is a zone of increasing geopolitical competition and economic opportunity. The security implications of a changing Arctic, combined with the demand for critical minerals, will continue to make Greenland a focal point for global powers. Future strategies should involve fostering strong partnerships, supporting sustainable development, and addressing the legitimate concerns of Greenland's population to ensure that the Arctic region remains stable and secure.